Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another presentation of the Issues Room. This is our 124th edition, and it's good to see all of you here tonight. It's a pleasure being back here to join you all for this great broadcast. Tonight, we will be looking at a very pertinent issue, and I hope that a lot of you will share the link, invite someone to join us. We were here this past Friday celebrating our former colleague, friend, and brother of the Liberia Broadcasting System, Mr. Patrick Manjo, who passed on and will be buried on the 4th of February. And we're back here again to also say that another prominent Liberian will be buried this weekend here in the Pennsylvania area, Dr. Daniel E. Cassell, who was the former standard bearer, vision and standard bearer of the People's Liberations Party, Liberation Party, actually put it that way. He passed on Christmas Day, and he will be buried this Saturday coming up here in Pennsylvania. So, of course, things are happening, and when you stay alive, you want to be grateful. You want to tell God thank you, and that's all we can do. Continue to be grateful. I'm Volcano Shelton, welcoming you far and near in Liberia, everywhere across the world, and I'm about to be joined by my colleague Moses Sandy, who is in the state of Delaware. I'm coming from Pennsylvania. Good evening, Moses. Welcome. Fortune on you. First to be in the house, we say welcome, my brother. Moses, 124th edition.
Yes. Thank you, Volcano. We are gradually getting there. And it is good that we come every Tuesday, every Friday to educate and at the same time provide meaningful information for our people. So it's always pleasing to be here in the issues room with you. And like you saw earlier, tonight's discussion is very important. It's very important. I don't want to to disclose what you already have planned, but I can tell you this is going to be a very important discussion. You don't want to miss this. Please help us share the link. Share the link with all our people who have in interest in a better Liberia for 2023. You need to share the link. You need to be a part of this process. Thank you, Volcano. It's
Thank you.
always a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Maria Gardel, who said, good evening, welcome. Hope you doing well this evening out there. Cole Gloria Voca Moba, thank you for joining us here tonight. Again, this is our 124th edition, the Issues Room. Been around since September 14, 2021. And we're pushing, and so we're grateful. But before we go to our conversation here tonight, and the conversation has to do with the current president of Liberia, George Weah. Accordingly, it is no secret that President Weah of Liberia has shown since he took power nearly 6 years now that he is not cut for the job. And when we say cut for the job, it means that groomed, prepared, capable, ready, self-sacrificing, the ability to discern, to process, the ability to make critical decisions. There are a lot of tenets when it comes to leadership, attributes, and this president of Liberia is not cut for the job. Many people say he lacks the leadership qualities of some of those that I just mentioned to effectively steer the state of affairs of the country. Some Liberians want him to go or let go of the country. October 2023 is around the corner. Many people waited for this long, and they're hoping that he will let go of the country. Like that of the New Zealand Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, who said, listen, I don't have it no more. This role comes with a lot of responsibility. And there's a time when you know you no longer can do it, Don't force it. So let it go. And a lot of political pundits are saying, wow, to see a politician walk away. She had the opportunity to rerun and win, but to see a politician, walk away from leadership, especially the gravy, the ice cream, the shrimp, the lobster that you see a man Eugene Nangbe enjoying, to walk away from that, the $92,000 within 49 days, the private jet and all those amenities, to just walk away from it.
Say,
She
man,
said,
I
listen, I
can't
don't
do
have it.
this anymore.
I'll
Yeah.
be doing a disservice to the country. But that's the conversation for proper tonight we'll be discussing. So let's start with you, Moses, on trending news. What's in your bag of trending news?
Well, the top story which I bring to you from Liberia is that
Got to project a little. You sound
yeah,
low.
what I'm saying is
Mhm.
that the top story from Liberia, I was alerted today that the current Minister of Information, Lejehu Reni, has been asked to resign. The Liberian government has asked Minister Reni to resign, and he's to be replaced by a diehard supporter for the CDC, one Yikan Gabriel Yinkan. I think he was a legislator before. I'm not too sure about that, but we have been told that he been lobbying for legislative jobs for several months now, and finally, the job is to be awarded to him. But now the question that most people are asking is that Lejehu is a career journalist. Mr. Yinkan, I am not sure. I do not know his media background. And given the inadequate support the government continues to learn to the work of the Ministry of Information, what difference will Mr. Yinkan make at the Ministry of Information if the government, refuses to fund the work of the ministry? The new Liberian newspaper is down. The printing press is down. Lena, ineffective. Culture, the Bureau of Culture and Tourism, making no impact in the country. So it's going to be a change in personality. But unless the government can realize that this problem of the ineffectiveness of the ministry is not legible, it's the failure of the government, it's the failure of Mr. Weah. And that's why we're having the discussion tonight. That it is the failure of Mr. Weah to make the Ministry of Information what it ought to be. And I would like to end by saying that if I were in the position of Minister Rennie Volcano, I would have resigned long time.
All
The
right.
work environment is just toxic. Yeah.
Yeah. So from my end, I don't know if you've seen General Prince Johnson, the sitting senator of Nima County, called
Yeah.
a press conference where he disclosed that President Weah had sent a high power government delegation to meet with him
Mhm.
to ask him not to put forth a candidate because we've already heard that the guy's name is it Jeremiah Young? What's the name?
Coon, Jeremiah Coon.
Jeremiah Kuhn,
Mhm.
who is also a sitting lawmaker,
Senator.
uh, uh, is being put forth because Prince Johnson is not running again as
President.
presidential candidate. So Jeremiah Kuhn is now the one that has been asked to take that position. So accordingly, President Weah feels threatened because if Prince pulls up a candidate, then it means that the Nema County vote, you have Tier 1 Gonglo on the other side, they all would be scrambling for it, including Ambassador Boakai,
Yeah.
Alexander Cummings, and Nema County is a voting county, a vote populated county, and so accordingly, Opon was on his knees. President Weah got on his knees and was begging uh, the kingmaker, Prince Johnson. So Prince said that he named some of the folks who went to see him, the pro tem, the Minister of Finance, the former and sanctioned State for Presidential Affairs Minister, who is now parading to be the Senator incoming
Maggie.
Maggie County, Nathaniel McGill. So um, you can tell that President Weah hasn't gotten it yet, and that is why this conversation, will be held here tonight because it's important. This is not about Weah and his enjoyment. This is not about Weah and his associates. This is not about the crowd of board government they're running in Liberia. Do as you please, do what you want. This is about bringing our country back to its prestigious image in the international community, that it will be respected. And you know why Liberia is still invited to some of these things? Because it's a sovereign nation. But what does Liberia gain as a result of going to some of these things and coming back? This president has never delivered any message to the people of this country for 5.5 years of the trips he makes. In fact, insiders say that some of these goodwill gesture, he told the people, say, listen, I went there, I lobby, and so the money for me. And in fact, his current party chairman, Molba Molu, made a disclosure.
Yeah.
And they went on to say it was liquor talk. So I'm telling you here tonight that, Moses, we have a long way to go. And the only hope now is October 10th, 2023. It seems as though these last 6 years could not come. And even as we approach 2023, October 10th, elections day, people are still thinking that it's long away, and you can imagine all of the conundrum, all of the fanfare, the underwater deals, the muddy water politics, the mudslinging politics. We haven't even gotten to that yet.
No.
So that is why it's important for us to begin to hold this conversation. But just like you wanted me to reiterate quickly, this weekend, Dr. Daniel Cassell will be laid to rest. Dr. Cassell passed on Christmas Day, December 25th, last year. He was hoping to celebrate his birthday on January 8th. Didn't live to see that. He died of a known cause, which could be perceived as natural death, and he will be laid to rest this Saturday here in the state of Pennsylvania. Wakekeeping will be held on Friday between 6, I believe, and 9 p.m. at the Victory Harvest International Church here in Pennsylvania, and interment will be followed after the funeral at the church, same church, Victory Harvest International Church, here at a cemetery here in the state of Pennsylvania. It's expected an array of, Liberians from all walks of life will be in attendance to commemorate and usher this brother to his final resting place. It's saddening that this happened, but again, such is the situation. And then he will be preceded by, or rather, he will precede Patrick Manjo, who will be on the following weekend in Dallas, Texas. Patrick will have a life of celebration, which is Wakekeeping Friday, February 3rd, 6 to 8 p.m. in Euless, Texas. And interment will be on February 4th, Saturday, in Euless, Texas. An array of journalists, including the Issues Room, are expected to be in Texas to commemorate or celebrate with the family and put our brother to rest. Again, we say thank you to all of you who have been here with us to follow through on some of these updates. We'd like to welcome Jemima Cisco, Thomas Awaji, thank you for joining us here tonight to invite others. Steve Walson, we want to say thank you for coming through. Um, Raymond S. Clark will be in your town next weekend. We say thank you for joining us. Moses, let
Yeah.
me tell you something. It is scary. So let me quickly see if I can get to that story, Moses, and then we proceed with the conversation. So Jacinda Kate Laura Ardern is a New Zealand politician who served as the 40th Prime Minister of New Zealand and leader of the Labour Party from 2017 to 2023. She's a member of the Labour Party. She's been the member of Parliament for Mount Abbott since 2017. Uh, she made an announcement to step down as the country's leader in February, and that shocked many of her constituents and leaders around the world. This is her saying. She said, I'm leaving because with such a privileged role comes responsibility. With such a privileged role comes responsibility. She's 42 years old, so that's a very young woman, right?
Hmm.
Um, she said the responsibility to know when you are the right person to lead and also when you are not. That's the responsibility.
Yeah.
I know what it takes to do this job. And I know that I no longer have enough in the tank to do it justice. To
Yeah.
do it justice.
To do
It's
it.
that simple.
Hmm.
It's that simple. And she goes on to say, other folks say, rather, I did not expect it to happen. And this is one of the professors, Associate Professor Jennifer Marshman. She said, I did not expect it to happen because it is rare that politicians are that strategic and selfless. You understand me? It is rare to find politicians strategic and selfless.
Absolutely.
It's particularly hard to imagine a politician resigning in the US as Ardern did, likely to win re-election and still being respected globally, according to Joshua Kolanstik, a senior fellow for Southeast Asia at the Foreign Council on Foreign Relations. There's something other global leaders should take from this moment. There is something that other global leaders should take from this moment of gracefully bowing, all while keeping reputations largely intact. Ardern stepping down before she was pushed by her colleagues or lost an election may make leaders in other countries wonder if they should leave also, like George Weah. Most leaders are embattled due to the long-term impact of the pandemic and associated lockdowns and the cost of living crisis. Historically, leaders have waited to be pushed. And so we see here that a 42-year-old prime minister who led the country from 2017 to 2023 said, listen, I think the most reputable thing to do is to let go. I don't have it in the tank anymore. It's not because of corruption. It's not because of incompetence. It's not because of bad leadership. Um, she just feels that it's a disservice. It's a disservice to her country if she doesn't feel vested in the job and to be able to do the job. Moses.
Definitely. I agree with you 100%. And I agree with uh, the decision taken by the former
Jacinda.
Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern. She has been praised globally for being selfless. So I would like to begin on the note by doing a comparative analysis here of the two countries and the two individuals involved. George Weah, Liberia's president, and the former Prime Minister Jacinda. Jacinda is 42. Mr. Weah is 56. Jacinda holds a degree in management. She graduated in 2001 from the University of Waikato in New Zealand. And before becoming a prime minister, she worked as a researcher. Um, she and Mr. Weah came to power at the same time. George Weah was elected in 2017, and she also became prime minister in 2017. Then she was 37. So you see, if you do the math, you would say maybe then George Weah was maybe 47 or so or whatever. Okay. So then she was,
No, he was
uh,
50. He was 50.
oh yeah, he was
Mhm,
50.
yeah.
Yeah, then he was 50. So then she was 37. And Jacini, in the history of New Zealand and the world, was the youngest prime minister,
And world leader.
world leader. Yeah,
Yeah.
the youngest,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
All right. Now, the two countries, Volcano, I was looking at both countries.
Yeah.
Liberia has a population of almost 5 million people. New Zealand, which happened to be an island country in the South Pacific, has a population of a little over 5 million people. So we can say we're talking about
We're
two
on par.
small countries. Yeah, one is in West Africa and the other one is in the South Pacific. Now let's look at George Weah. Before I go to George Weah, Jacinda is an
Jacinda.
eloquent, yeah, Jacinda, yeah, is an eloquent public speaker as compared to Mr. Weah. She never shy away from the media. She was out there making the case for New Zealand. The decision to step aside, and that's why I like a quotation. I am leaving because with such a privileged role come a responsibility. With such a privileged role come a responsibility. Now take it to Liberia. The presidency comes with what? Significant responsibility. It's
And
not
Moses,
for fun. Yeah,
let me just tip
yeah,
you a little
mhm,
bit.
yeah,
New Zealand
yeah.
has a booming economy.
Mhm.
New Zealand is stable. New Zealand is capable. New Zealand is developed.
Yeah,
New Zealand has accountability systems in place
absolutely.
that will aid the president to be able to serve.
Right.
Then you have Liberia shattered,
No
broken
system.
down, abysmal amount of corruption, and then you bring incompetence,
Yeah.
you bring inabilities, you bring lack of understanding, you bring a leader with no,
Clue.
understanding of the issues,
Mhm.
and he uses cronies and associates to run the country. So I just wanted to lay that out too.
Yeah, and in fact, let me emphasize on the point you made that this woman chose to step aside not because of scandal. Very significant point.
Oh yeah, I
Not
just
because
mentioned
of
that. Yeah,
scandal,
yeah.
right? Okay, let's go back to Liberia. Mr. Weah has been president for almost what, 6 years. His administration has been marred by what? Multiplicity of scandals. When he became president, what did he do? He built 47 condominiums in less than 6 months. under shady condition. Miss Eden, Prime Minister Eden, did not do that. She didn't do that. As we speak right now, 3 key officials of the Weah administration are on U.S. sanction because of what? Dishonesty. No story of such has emanated from New Zealand. The former prime minister should openly engage your people. She updated them about what was happening in the country. Mr. Weah, he rarely does that. I can't remember the last time he ever had a news conference in that country.
He waits for the so-called State of the Nation
Yeah,
address.
which is coming on next. He should have delivered that. In fact, this gone. You should have done that yesterday.
Oh, so
Because it's always the fourth.
everything,
It's always the fourth on Monday.
yeah. So everything they got will ask for postponement.
Yeah, he always asks. So
Yeah,
it's my
delay.
understanding that he's
This
going to
was
do that
delayed.
next week. Yeah, he's going to
I,
do
w-
that
I won't be
next.
surprised if they try the election and
Yeah.
say they can't have it October 10th.
But Volcano. Now, this is what he's going to do. I saw earlier the former Prime Minister Eden is an eloquent speaker. On Monday, what will you see? Recitation. Mr. Weah is a terrible communicator. So when you look at the two individuals, the distinction between the both of them is significantly huge. But yet this lady said, with such a privilege, with the privilege to serve, it comes with what responsibility. She said, I can no longer do it. And what is Mr. Weah doing? He lacks the competence. He does not understand governance. He doesn't even know what is happening in the country. He's completely disengaged. He spent time filibustering. But yet he still wants to be president.
You mean gallivanting?
Gallivanting, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He spent time gallivanting, running all over the place. Instead of focusing on the work of the people, he spent that time to play basketball.
Make music.
Every tournament in our country, he wins them. He goes to the church. He's not a theologian, but he goes to his church to preach. He's not a good basketballer, but he wants
to preaching, or is he goes to his church to get back at his perceived oppositions. He doesn't go there to preach the word of God to win souls.
Yeah, you're right.
He uses, that's his comfort zone. You know, that's where he goes to spew.
He never talked to journalists. Wherever he goes there, then he goes after his opponents, and he throws, gibberish at them.
And jabs, yeah.
Yeah, you saw there indirectly. And, so, Volcano, in life, it is good to do what we call self-appraisal. When you take a critical look at yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, what can you do effectively and what do you need to improve on? Unfortunately, our president lacks the ability to do self-appraisal. The man knows that he cannot read beyond the level of third grade, but he wants to go for 12 years. He's going to mount the podium, and the whole place will be nothing but chaos, because he will be reading. Nobody will comprehend what he will be reading. He goes to international conferences. He does the same thing. Yeah, he wants the people to give him 12 years. He got these blind fanatics that call him, say, wow, Baku, you're strong.
You're the best president.
Yeah, Liberia best president. He wears a t-shirt. Liberia best president. Isn't that insanity?
The man wears a t-shirt?
Oh, yeah, he has a t-shirt with that inscription. Liberia best president. You haven't seen that?
No.
Oh, when you have some time checking up in Google. Liberia best president.
That's self-floralization, man.
Yeah, my man, the man like to be misled. I think it would do well, like the former Prime Minister New Zealand did. This is the time for Mr. Weah to redeem himself. Let go of the presidency. Because for Volcano, it is glaring. This is no secret. It is not me saying it. It is not you that saying it. This is public information. Everybody globally knows that George Weah is not up to the task. Let me give you the opportunity to expand further.
So yeah, so and I think the fact here that Weah came to power
Mhm.
not to do for the Liberian people, but to enrich himself. And in
Yeah.
the process of doing that, the people around him themselves, who are his closest allies, get better.
Mhm.
And they've accomplished that in the first term. So if they have accomplished all of this in the first term, what do you think will happen in the second term? And that's why that continues to bother me as I think about it. This guy comes to power in the first months, all of these grandiose projects, big money getting missing, and you'd be surprised. Eugene Fagon
Yeah.
was on Spoon yesterday, and he threw some serious jabs out there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who all it hit, but Kev Hassan. I mean, he 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 just sat there like a mute puppet. He couldn't say a word. He tried to, and Fagon said, "Don't try me here because when I open up, it will not be easy."
Man, Fago is a
And
wonder dog.
and and, 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 and Fagon said that my position I held. I was privileged to information.
Yeah.
You understand me? So all of these big monies got missing,
Yeah.
but we seen the money in circulation with them.
Mhm.
You print money for the country to go into circulation, they can't see the money.
Yeah.
Only the privileged few keeping the money in their homes because they're looking forward to 2023 campaigning.
Mhm.
So rate yourself, Mr. Weah. Rate yourself because you put a little makeshift invincible park across the street under the airport, which is not an ideal location. You
Yeah.
call that a project? You call that you've done something?
Yeah.
Or because you built a 40 military urgent care clinic and you call
No
that
drugs. No
hospital?
drugs. No drugs.
You have the basic infrastructures in the country with no resources to function. You have a Ministry of Information where people are making $50 a month, but you can take $92,000 in your pocket doing nothing for it, but sitting in a stadium VIP stands, drinking whatever, showcasing your shrimp and lobster like Eugene Nangwe. Only they alone can show their food. The Liberian people got a hard because what they're eating is not even pleasing to take pictures of. And you want to really be president again for another 6 years?
Yeah.
That you getting on your knees begging Prince Johnson, hey, Papa, don't put nobody there. Oh. Just come back. And Prince said, my man, the understanding we had is over. And y'all want something. And people say Prince doing it to make money again. He wants to renew the contract. So he wants to renew the contract. So
Man,
that old contract,
my man, Prince got to eat on, my man.
Prince
What
said
you
that old
talking about?
contract over. That old contract we signed, that 6 year, all the things you promised, I ain't even guess some. I see you enjoying. You and your man Samuel 20 and I share 25 million. Then your on the other side, you share the other what
Yeah.
do you call it? What the money, man? What the money stimulus package money
Yes, you
you put all in your pocket. Then you really serious? You want me to come back?
Yeah.
No, I bring in somebody to put pressure on you. It's all a scandal.
Yeah,
It's all a scheme, Moses.
Of
So
course it
we are
is.
in a serious situation.
Yeah.
But what Jacinda Ardern did in New Zealand is a prime example of a person who has love for the country,
Yeah.
who doesn't think that the country belongs to them, and without them, the country is nothing. We are, you are a triple, quadruple, however you want to say, a millionaire. Samuel Toa is a millionaire. Nathaniel McGill is a millionaire. Eugene Nangwe is a millionaire. Jefferson Koji is a millionaire. I can go on. I can go on calling these millionaires out in less than 6 years. What more you want from the Liberian people? Why you want to be so greedy and take another 6 years? Are you satisfied? All the mansions you have built, all the offshore accounts, all the enjoyment, all the lobsters you have eaten the lobsters and the shrimp that we even got some in the in Lake Piso, we even got some in St. Paul River, St. John River, and around the Atlantic there. We
Yeah.
every day the people eating lobster.
Yeah.
The
That's
people,
what it is.
the people eating lobster, seafood. They're all seafood. Y'all lead the thing now.
I
Let
mean, it was
somebody
about
come.
it.
Eh?
It was about it.
Yeah. Let somebody come and take it who means well for the country that will help put our country back on the map. Because, Mr. Weah, you ain't able to. I don't care what you do, you're not caught for it. You like too much pleasure. You like too much enjoyment. You did it with the national team. You enjoy to the point until you ran the national team out of the World Cup. Enjoyment on the eve of the game with Ghana. You enjoy until you got on the field, you couldn't even stretch. So you got enough. Take it quietly. Go somewhere and enjoy what you got and give the Liberian people their country back. Because the reason why we're holding this conversation is to really share with you that there are people who mean well for the country. And the New Zealand Prime Minister has shown that. She's not leaving because she's incompetent. She's not leaving because of scandal. She's not leaving because she can't do the job. She's leaving because she's gotten to the point where she
It
feels
just
like
can.
it's tiring. I've given my best. And for me to hold on here and pretend that I can do the job when I don't have the stamina, when I don't have the insatiable, there's something called the insatiable desire to do something.
Absolutely.
That appetizing leadership desire. Mr. Weah, you know you don't have it. You never had it from the get-go. It is not something you can develop because there is a paradigm or a dichotomy between the two. Pleasure and leadership don't go together. The time you take to spend in studios to make those crappy songs, that's grueling hours. You should be researching. You should be reading about your economy. You should be understanding the business deals that they're throwing on your decks that you just signing blindly. And it's not benefiting the country, all because the grip of money is a company. Those bogus deals. That's what happening in Liberia. You don't have it and you will not have it. And those of you Liberians listening to me tonight, you're not hating me. If you vote for Weah, you're not hating me. If I thought Weah had it, I would say yes. And if Weah gets there, if he decides to make improvements for the next 6 years, so be it. But the truth is, what you didn't do, they said rain, they didn't fold the bucket, that you will fold the bucket.
No, man, you still got 6 more years
Yeah.
to go. But look, Volcano, I will continue to employ uh, the former Prime Minister, Ardern. She has proven to the world that she's a patriot. That's what patriotism is, the love of country. And I hope that our African leaders will begin to practice patriotism, such as the one demonstrated by this lady from New Zealand. She decided to say, hey, you know what? I think it's time to call it a quit, as we say in the United States. It's time to let it go. I don't have the time. I don't think I am prepared now. And let someone else take on this responsibility. Volcano, there's nothing there you can do when you know that you don't have the ability. Look, it becomes even more stressful than when you know you're not prepared to do something and you're pretending. It's very stressful. Do you know why Mr. Weah doesn't go to the mansion? He goes to the mansion. Who is he going to talk to? People will come to see him. They will sit there. They will gossip. But I'm talking about having leadership discussion.
But who are the leaders that go into that country?
That's what I'm saying.
This man is
Even
not ashamed to say, listen, I've been here, man. Look how I'm isolated.
yeah,
Chris Johnson even said that there's no robust, business, factory, manufacturing plant coming in the country. No job production in the country.
no.
Prince Johnson talking, I understand he's frustrated because he's trying to renew his contract with Weah, but the absolute truth here is it is what it is. You have a country, everybody is almost beggars.
Yeah.
Every day you wake up, somebody testing you to help them buy food.
Yeah.
Buy me one bag of rice.
The
Buy me this
economy.
one. Help me with this one.
Yeah. They came, they made all
Why
these.
this guy holding this country hostage?
Yeah.
You can't do the job. You can't do Can Jefferson Koji point to me what he's done with Monrovia?
Yeah. A
For
very
real?
good example. Yeah. What has he done?
Can Jefferson Koji point to me what he's done with Monrovia?
Yeah.
I studied public administration, and I know what it means to be a mayor. I know what it means to be a city manager. I understand the function of local government at the very core. So I understand it, and I know what it means. Where are the functional departments across the Monrovia City Corporation, and what are they doing? But he leaves Monrovia, he wants to run the other municipalities. The man is the governor mayor of Liberia. He
Oh
goes to
wow.
Queensville and he interferes in
Yeah, in their
Queensville
affairs.
matters.
Yeah.
Congo Town.
He wants to run
Yeah,
everything.
he wants to run everywhere, but the Monrovia that he's supposed to be
Monrovia.
running, he's not even paying attention to it. But
No.
that's the point I'm making here, Moses.
Yeah.
Where can we point to that it's really working?
But
Like
look,
working, he said you passed the Millennium Honor Water. They celebrated for 2 weeks, thinking they were going to get money.
money.
And what happened? They got a shock of their lives.
The people said no. All their neighbors got money, but them.
Because you're not reputable. You've not demonstrated financial accountability, fiscal management.
Yeah, yeah.
You just dump in the people money and just do anything you want to do. This is sad, Moses. But let me say this also. You saw what happened to Paul Biya at the African Leaders Summit. Paul Biya didn't even know where he was, Cameroon president. The man is pretty close to 90 years old or around that age and still wants to be president.
It's the same selfishness we're talking about.
And he's sitting there, he's asking his aide, who are these people? And he said, oh, Papa, you got the paper there in here, you need to read it. He's just holding the paper. He's completely clueless.
As people and Volcano, they make that.
I know I want to finish this.
Complete your thoughts. Yeah, complete your thoughts.
He's completely clueless. Because we are completely clueless. Okay, you can't let watch football. That's what you go for. President Biden, the only chance you have to meet with Liberia's President George Weah.
Yeah,
There's a game here going on.
yeah,
Can
Brahim.
you just come here and just probably chat with him for a minute or two?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Then
it.
he throws on to handle that Colasco took the picture, or who took the picture. He said, "You'll be taking my picture while I'm here." Because I the only chance. The people say I couldn't come. I here now. But that's that kind of thing you take and you
Yeah,
shame about and you happy.
and little stuff.
Yeah.
The least thing that people worried about.
So I've
That's
just
what
thought
they
to
make
throw
it
that
happen.
in because Paul Bia, now you got the young Iadima. He's been there for almost 20 years. His father took the country. Then you got the Bongo guy in Gabon. What's wrong with these people? Then you got Ureni Museveni in what they call the place Uganda
Yeah,
since the mid 80s.
African leaders, man.
Then you got Paul Kagame now. It looked like all the
And
little
I'm told that he wants to go for third term,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So what's wrong with these people?
Yeah.
But at least some of these people, they got something to offer. They've offered something. But our own man, he just came to take.
But
So
man,
the man said it's not sufficient. He want to leave as a billionaire.
yeah.
So he wants the next 6 years. Because right now he has 500 million. So another 6 years will gain another 500 million of making a billionaire. We are like to, he like the accolades. Okay, world best, Africa best,
Yeah. Now he
what are
calls
the
it
best
Liberia
again?
best president. Liberia
Europe
best
best,
president.
Liberia best president, and Liberia first billionaire. So the first 5 years to six, that
Now
his first 500 million,
500
I
million.
want to go
Yeah.
for another term. Go
Yeah.
ahead,
So he can
Moses.
be a bit. Yeah. The situation with our president is very sad. This man uh is so limited that his limitation is no secret. Everywhere he goes, he demonstrates that. He comes abroad, when he talks to people, he barely says anything. When he said he even have conversation with his own seditians, he says nonsense. Look at the comparison he made between Liberia and the city of Miami. Can you imagine that volcano? Wasn't that delusional for Mr. Weah to compare rehab role to the city of Miami? Wasn't that delusional? He was completely out of touch with reality. That tells you his limitation. The man, the man has served the country for almost 6 years. Nothing to account for. When he came to the presidency, uh, 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 he reportedly made 200 promises. Of the 200, I am told the government has fulfilled less than 20. 200 promises. We will do this. Liberian will not be what spectators in their own economy. But when you go to the gateway of the country, the airport, what are those people that are managing the airport, Volcano? Are they
Ghanaians,
not Ghanaians?
Ghanaians got all of the little shops and stuff. In fact, the man they had a mind to put Aquaba.
Really?
Aquaba, yes. Aquaba
At,
is a
at, at the
welcome
airport?
message. Yes,
Can you
at the
imagine that?
Roberts International. If you say be mwe in Basel, we take it.
Liberian, that's the thing, my man.
If
You
even
read
you say be mwe
Aquaba?
or you say bavua, we take it.
Yeah. You put Aquaba at the Robert International Airport? But look,
And Liberian, Moses, what bothers me and what hurts me is that the Liberians that are in Liberia today, I don't know where they came from. I don't know where this other group of Liberians came from. I don't know. Hey, you know why you playing Kasao from?
yeah.
You know what? On until you root Casal. I don't know if they just rooted them from all
Yeah.
under the palm cabbage, the
Yeah.
batanga bot. You know,
Mhm.
you know what people were eating during the war.
Yeah.
I know that where the people can't even think. They don't even know their own. I mean, as a nation, you must have your pride. You must have something to show for you. We have 16 plus languages in Liberia, if you want to call it dialects.
Mhm.
We have. One of the most popular is Bassa. So
Then,
put more in there. Or Nimba.
then
But
you go right Aquaba at the airport. Can you imagine that, Volcano?
because the man part, they say that Ghanaian man.
My
And now
man,
you
no,
can call about
my man, don't be yakking now.
you can call about see the man power official man. He did what he had to do and he went away.
It's a
But
little
the
jo-
point we're making here is
Yeah.
where is that national pride?
Yeah. Where's the sense of
Liberians,
nationalism?
where do they speak? All day. I get so bothered by all these young people don't even understand and know the history before their birth. The real history of Liberia before the birth. From 1847, or go back 1822 to 1847, then 1847 to 1980, 1980 to 1990, 1990 to 2005, before the first elections after Taylor. And then understand. Then the Zegwe, all the battle cry thing they're doing. Oh, the people say, the Weah will not be president, but Weah will be president. Hey, all of that.
Yeah.
Then they will understand that they're wasting their time. This young generation is wasting its time
Absolutely.
yelling and singing and running the streets and being funky.
But that's all they do
Steady.
to the people. Yeah. They
They're
exploit them.
wasting their time, Moses.
Mhm.
And it hurts me because you and I, in our generation, we were not doing these things. We're taking to the books.
Yeah. We have time to read,
If we had
do
to
our
play sports, we
homework.
play
Yeah.
sports
Yeah.
to keep faith, but we were taking to the books because we knew it was the way out. And you follow people who steal from you, who take from you. You living in a zing round. The man was living in a one bedroom, renting. And you know those houses in Monrovia where
Yeah.
you got
Mhm.
people renting single room but long hallway and one little piazza, then the kitchen outside, the bathroom outside.
Yeah.
The man
Everybody
was renting in one of
got
those
that
rooms.
one. Yeah. Yeah. You know.
The man had a children and a woman, all of them sleeping in one room. But because he said he was CDC now, okay, they gave him minister job. Then he had a man that built big house with big fence, 3-story building. Then he got building all around. You
Yeah.
still running behind this man, but you stay in your zing round. So you're hoping that the man will have to leave that job for you to get it. But what's the preparation for you to get a job?
You're not prepared.
That's why I'm bothered by this scenario. How these people continue to keep themselves regressed, running behind people who taking away from them and making themselves better.
Yeah. They celebrate those people.
Yes.
Celebrate them.
So that's what happening. So where this group of Liberian came from, I don't know. Where they own the grass and they just root up the grasses and brought them up. Where this group came from, Moses?
Well,
Because
it's
it is this group that holds the future
of course.
of Liberia comes 2023.
But then
Everything we say here tonight, Moses, the analogy we made with New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern
mhm.
and George Weah, and one person who has it all say, I'm tired, I can't do it no more. I'm walking
I will
away.
let it go.
Somebody
Yeah.
on the other hand who doesn't have it, who makes no effort to have it,
Yeah, it.
and will never have it, and you say you want to give him another
Still
6 years
another chance,
when
yeah.
your country economy is can't even put a switch on, a light switch on, when your country economy cannot even provide water. Mary Brown has to be going around saying she got task force. Interestingly, the people, the man who's going to be going around, they pay Mary Brown to do his job and then pay him on top of it. You see the nonsense in Liberia?
Well, in fact, in school you said that.
Yeah, you
Look,
got LEC managing director Moses. You pay
yeah,
him a full salary. He
yeah,
going around
and you hire somebody to be a
But then you
campaigner.
take Mary Broad to do the dirty job.
Yeah,
You pay her extra, then you pay that man. So
yeah.
what type of broken down country is this?
But man, look, Volcano, everything comes back to what we saw earlier: the ability to function effectively, to lead. If you don't have that ability, my man, people do things haphazardly. People act impulsively. You have Mirabel, right? This woman is Director General of the General Services Agency. Instead of focusing on what she's being paid to do, she's in the community doing the work of LEC.
Raging the devil.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Moses. Just be Mary Broad police director. Mary Broad will do a better job than Jacinda.
No, but Volcano,
I think she
let,
missed this.
yeah,
Mary Broad is an action woman. Put her in the police force. Let her clean the place up.
yeah, but Volcano, what I'm saying is that holding people accountable, utilizing people wisely. If you know that this woman is a good mobilizer, she has the ability of turning LEC around, send her there. You can keep her at, at the GSA as Director General.
To go procure.
Yeah, at the same time she's doing
woman is an
work.
action force.
Yeah. You have a president who allow people even in his inner cycle because he's so limited. Take, for example, the president has a press secretary. He has a whole communication team at the executive mansion. And he has Sheku Kalasco, just an aide. This is the man who told his suitcase, go and get my food. An aide doing the work of the media team. Everywhere the president goes, Kalasco is the president unofficial photographer, videographer. And yet now he has gone to the extent of what? Doing commentary. But this man does not even speak English. Mr. President, you have the Liberia Broadcasting System with a team of journalists. You have the Ministry of Information with trained personnel. At the executive mansion, you have a communication department. Why can't you utilize these people to project you positively instead of having an aide? Carrasco is an aide. But George Weah does not know what he's doing. So everything is in crisis. Nothing is working out. And Volcano, the mayor is asking for what? Another 6 years.
Let's watch the time. We're leaving here 8:30 tonight.
Yeah, you want to open the line?
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. Good evening,
open the
everyone.
line.
We'd like to welcome you. This is the Issues Room. We are at our 124th edition. I'm Volcano, Shelton, Moses, Sandy. We've been doing this thing for all of our lives, and we're here because it's about our country, and it's not about a particular person. Of course, we have to discuss Mr. Weah, but that's why when we look for conversations to hold, we do research, we go behind the scene, and we want to make sure that we make the comparison and create great analysis that you, our viewers, listeners, can look through and see whether we're making sense. And I think tonight we're making sense. We're making sense. And so we'd like to welcome Flomo Livingstone. We say thank you for joining us here tonight. You Montreal Krenga, Raymond Clark, Ahmad Freeman, my brother. How you doing tonight? Hope everything is going well with you. T.A. Thomas Awaji. How is Georgia tonight? We say welcome. D.C. Wilson, my man. Yeah, I wanted to respond to you, but Facebook said I was out of opportunity to send messages.
Wow.
You know Facebook, man. They
Yeah,
just
man,
got
they
us
got
by
to do all kinds of
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
G. Gwen Jones Smith. What's up, lady? How you doing tonight? Good to see you here in the house. Stay with us. Good conversation. Godwin Weah Doe. Adeline Wesley. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, Adeline. Wow.
Yeah,
Hi, Adeline.
How you doing tonight? Welcome. Thanks for coming in the Issues Room. Join us here. It's good to see you. Steve Walson, it's good to see you too. Jemima uh, Cisco, it's good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All you good, wonderful people. Maria Gardel, welcome. Kou Moba and our man Fergie Monyu. Continue to share the link, invite others. We're opening the line now. It's 8 o'clock in the city. As I said, we'll be here till 8:30 prompt. And so we like for you to call 404-272-2808, 404-272-2808. Come here, join us, be a part of the conversation tonight. We're discussing. In fact, Melepele Kesumo, I'm monitoring from the platform from St. Louis City, Missouri State. Good evening, sir. Welcome. Welcome. It's good to have you. But again, we'd like for you to call. Come and chime in. Listen, one of the things we continue to say, if you stay mute, the mute man will take the country. The only thing we can do is to talk Weah out of the presidency. We got to talk him out of it. There's nothing we can do but to keep talking him out of it. So those of you who are here tonight, calling, Gregory Stam, watching, we say welcome. Edith V. McIntosh, listening. Good evening, Edith. Welcome. It's good to see you and good to have you in the house with us. But we got to talk Weah out of the presidency. He's done his 6 years, about to be done with his 6 years, put it that way. He's now has $500 million in his account. His wife is sitting pretty. She ain't got to worry for anything. She ain't doing nothing in Liberia, but she collecting free salary. You know, why you have women who are working in ministries with a degrees and they barely can take $100 home a month. Moses, why are we so wicked to ourselves? Where is that Liberia standard and pride?
It's so
What
sad.
type of country is this, my brother? How did we get to this place where we lost our nationalism, our patriotism, our pride? How did we get to this? How?
Greed. Liberia went to civil war for more than 14
For
years because
nothing.
of what? Greed.
Kill
And we
all these people
have,
for nothing, Moses.
yeah, all those people died, thousands of property destroyed because of greed. And today we have uncontrollable greed. Do you remember Chris Smith, Senator Smith, who referred to the Weah administration as what? A kleptocracy, a government of thieves. In the history of Liberia, the only administration that it took the United States government through the Treasury Department to intervene and say, hey, you got to let go 3 of your officials because these individuals are undermining the country's ability to thrive. It's we as administration.
Moses, you gave the first lady of Liberia a little over $500,000 in a budget. People say, the numbers is never exact, but let's just say. And then you gave mental health $30,000
Yeah.
in the budget.
30,000.
What's going on with this country?
Yeah.
Sometimes, like the other day, I lie there and I say, I wonder that the 13 men, then they Samuel Doe, man, they all that super.
$30,000. Can you imagine that,
I
Volcano?
wonder that the 13 men and swear on us, my man. Because that day was gloomy. Let Moses, to be honest with you.
This is very serious. I'm laughing, but this
That
is
day
very,
was
very
gloomy. I
serious.
was a
Yeah.
small boy. I still
Yeah.
remembered.
Yeah. I was in grade school then.
It was a gloomy day.
Yeah.
13 men. Granted, you said they were corrupt. But in less than months, you came and just replicated what you claimed that they did.
Yeah.
You robbed them of their families, of their children to see them grow. One of the people who the world still doesn't forgive Liberian for was Cecil Dennis.
Kill that man.
Foreign minister. Extraordinaire.
One of the funniest. Kill that man.
On an impulsive decision.
Yeah.
Then you
Somebody
come
just
there,
woke
you
up.
even stay no time. You started whipping your 17 enlisted men.
Yeah.
Thomas was saying,
Mm-hmm.
Nelson told,
All the guys.
start whipping your men in. Why these guys took this country and destroyed it to the core? Moses,
And just to piggyback on what you're saying, is that the Weah administration has indeed exacerbated the situation. Did you listen to Fagon?
I know.
I listened to Fagon, he said, and he reported to the world that our friend and brother, Patin Niswa,
Yeah, but then this why, yeah.
I think he was head of some audit entity in Liberia. They did an audit that indicted several
Mm-hmm.
officials of the Weah administration. And this guy took the report. Nathaniel McGill was the quote unquote prime minister. He led the country while Mr. Weah was,
Making music.
gallivanting. Yeah, you know. So Mr. Ninswa took the report to see the then Minister of State, Eugene Fagon, a deputy minister who was then a quote unquote aide to Nathaniel McGill, was the one coordinating who goes to see McGill and who doesn't. When the guy said that, I was wondering to myself, a deputy minister being reduced to the level of an aide? A deputy minister? Volcano? A
But
deputy minister?
listen, let me tell you this, Moses. Don't get carried away by these titles. Within these titles, the proximity to the president makes you bigger.
Nah.
You understand me?
Yeah.
Colasco is even powerful than Eugene Fagon.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Colasco is even powerful than our man Lejo Ureni.
Oh yeah. You say
What are
Colasco,
you talking about here?
Findabono. These are the people that Mr. Weah listens to. So now coming back to Batten Niswa, Batten told Eugene, he said, hey, you need to tell Minister Michael, I have this report. I can't give it to nobody. I need to talk to him. And the guy stayed forever. He never had the opportunity. Michael told him to go and come back the following day. That evening,
That when trouble
Mr.
broke loose.
Niswa was murdered.
Throw the man from in your own house downstairs,
Yeah,
according to stories.
yeah.
Listen,
The
the
man was
line is
murdered.
open. Please call 404-272-2808, 404-272-2808. You see it right there on the screen. If it's not visible, it's 404-272-2808. We're discussing Liberia. And again, we're discussing the current president, George Weah, who wants six more years. When you have the former prime minister who resigned, she will be officially out of office in February next month, in the coming weeks. Jacinda Ardern from New Zealand, who said, listen, this job
Didn't
is a
do this.
privileged role and it comes with responsibility. I don't have it anymore. I can't do it. It would be a disservice to my country. I know if I ran, I can still win. I don't have a bad reputation. My people love me. I love my people, but I just don't have the stamina. I don't have the stick-to-itiveness, the
The ability to
extra
do this.
hours to be up at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
So I gotta let it go.
Let it go.
George Weah, on the other hand, he ain't got nothing. Zero. In fact, he's going to change the football number now, or just a number to
40.
zero. He ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
He already $500 million rich, but he
Yeah.
wants to go back
For
to get the
another
other
60.
500 million to become a billionaire in the African context, to be Liberia's first billionaire, because Weah has to be billionaire before he leave Liberia. He's Africa best. He world
World
best.
bet.
He Europe best. He Invisible 11 best. He Sano County basketball MVP best.
Yeah, MVP.
Yeah.
The counter meet. He's
He
also the
volleyball best.
MVP.
He volleyball best too.
Yeah.
He won a Liberia best in music. He
Yeah.
won a Liberia best preacher.
Yeah.
You know, So he still want to get that other 500 million. Then
Yeah.
Samuel Toy said, well, myself got to get my own. So, my people, that the conversation we're having here tonight.
Conversation we
We
have, you
lose
know.
all of our important people to the Civil War starting in 1980, plus the people who died. I saw the war. I lived through the war. I was there from 1980. I was big enough to see what happened on that April 12th. I was there to see what happened during the execution of the 13 men on the poor. I was small, but I remember it very clearly because I was always concerned, and I listened to the news. I watched ELTV. I saw the trials of some of those folks. I
Yeah.
also saw even Grady Addison trial. I followed that trial.
I saw
Uh,
that as well.
so I stayed with Liberia's dark days. I know of the 1985 coup. In fact, I was at LBS on the morning when they were bringing everyone. We were all the standbyers and the Liberians just being inquisitive to see things. So we've seen it all. 1990 came. I saw it. I lived it. I relocated, outside of Painesville, in the community of ELWA. Then I had to go into smell no taste. So I saw octopus. I saw April 6th. I live in April 6th. I had to take refuge with Emma Sawyer, Hezekiah Bowen, uh, 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 Wilton Sangawola at the time was state councilman, chairman, Bacchus Matthew. We were all on Ekoma base. Uh, saw it, and so nothing is strange here, and I know that some of us are here today to be the voice of those people who died, and some of these people who don't know what happened should not think that we're strangers. Okay, Moses, we're not strangers to the crisis of our country, not because some of us are in America, so it means that we've forgotten where our country have come from
Mm-hmm.
and where it must go.
Sure.
We didn't spill blood for nothing.
No, I
But
agree.
today, I don't know where this other group of Liberians came from, and all they do just sing around the place. The new dress code, the party t-shirts.
Oh, but have you seen them with the tote bags?
Oh, they got. Oh, okay.
Oh, don't you see them? Everybody when they go out, they chanting the military slogans with the tote bags. So now I watch this guy. I'm wondering about what's going on with our country. All the young people,
Yeah.
you know, they explode them because we have a leadership that is now far-sighted. You have a president who, for the past 12 months, has not held one cabinet meeting. Volcano, how do you manage a department and you cannot hold meeting with your staff? How will things function in that department? Mr. Weah, for more than 1 year, he has not had a cabinet meeting. The retreat, which he had last year, not a single resolution evolved out of that retreat.
But these guys just go to have fun, my brother. When there's no accountability, Moses, you and I work in a system where there's accountability. When there's
Of
no
course.
accountability, things crumble. Things crumble. Even with me, the degree of accountability that rests on me, if for
Yeah,
any reason my boss is
yeah.
not on top of me for certain things, I will become lackadaisical if I'm
Of
not
course.
mature and
Of course. We will
responsible to
try to.
know that at
Yeah.
some point they will ask for deliverables.
Yeah. Oh,
The
yeah.
fact that I know that they're going to ask for deliverables, whether they ask for it this month, next month, I will still do as
You
expected
know you got to.
because someday they'll ask for it. And
They're
that's
gonna
the
ask
same thing
me.
I do with the people who report to me. That's just the way it works.
Hey, it works.
That's the way it works. You understand me? That's the
Mhm.
way it works. But yeah, what I want to say, and I want you to hear me out on this. Moses,
Mm.
we had a TRC. We had recommendations put in there. We have continued to keep that document wherever it is.
On the back burner.
People who have promised to handle this have not shown any desire to. And so we have not given any closure. Closure. to the death of the more than 500,000 people who died. The number they're calling around there, they just calling number because international community makes numbers. But
Yeah.
more than 500 people, thousand
Yes,
people
a lot
died
of
from our
people die.
country. There were
For no,
people who died, they didn't even know they died because dogs ate them.
of course, no
That's all these
justifiable
things
reason, my
happened.
man.
You understand me?
Yeah.
So until something happens with this TRC recommendation to hold some of these people accountable, irrespective of how contrite, how much of religious they have turned into, how much of a new man, you still have to account for your deed through the principle of governance, through the principle of law. Let leave the one that you and your savior, your God would do. Let leave that one. All that thing Prince Johnson doing, let leave it.
Yeah.
He say he man of God. Let's forget it. I ain't questioning his faith. But let some of them pay for what they've done.
Yeah.
Including they have to restitute some of this wealth they've gained, this ill-gotten wealth, put it back into those people who they left or parentless, those kids who they left with no parents, those child soldiers. Somebody was asking the last time you saw his photo when Doe was sitting there, they cutting his ear off. That small little boy that was standing there with a woman who was offending him.
Oh no, I didn't see
But
that.
but you see that picture? Go on Facebook.
Yeah,
Where is
I saw the video when they were,
where, yeah, but where is
when
that
ear
child?
was being sliced. Yeah.
Where's that child?
Where's that
Where
child?
is his parent? Can Prince Johnson account for that child? Gerald Cummings, hang on, my brother.
Hmm.
Let me just finish my thought. I got you,
Yeah.
bro. So, where's that child? So, there are evidence to hold these people accountable for the things they've done. And yet, you got people sleeping in the bed. We are sleeping in the bed with these people. He's on his knee begging Prince Johnson not to put forward a candidate because he wants to be president for another 6 years.
At all costs.
What is happening for our country? Let's hear
Yeah,
from Gerald
like
Cummings. Gerald, man, listen, my brother, you know how I feel right now. So come in and just take it from there.
Uh, um, Volcano, senior brother, good evening. And good evening to you, Mr. Sandy.
yeah, welcome,
Good
Joe. It's
evening to
always a pleasure to have you.
viewers and listeners. After you are in Moreover trying to get your accreditation because the pastor had an issue.
Oh, man, to do what in there? I beg you, God.
You were there the other time with your camera all over
Yeah.
the place. So after you went to Liberia to get your accreditation. But
so,
uh,
so they will not take the Facebook us again.
but on a serious note, you guys, we stepped in your place, when you people left the media. But 5 years ago, I said to people that this government, in terms of information dissemination from the embryo stages, that they were weak. People took it for a joke, that the guys were not prepared for anything. Like you catalog some issues.
Mhm.
There's one trending issue that caught my attention, that I knew that this government, come what may, if the Liberian people will only sit down and think for themselves and really like this government, then it's like maybe they're on a spell. I don't think they're on a spell, but if they do it, then they're on a spell. Quite recently, former Deputy Information Minister for Public Affairs would sit on a radio talk show and tell the Liberian people, because I don't think he was telling Kev, I don't think he was only telling the president, he was telling us too, that
You're right.
if you play with me,
Yeah,
you'll
I
know
got
how the
plenty.
four auditors die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine
That
that?
you, as a veteran journalist, and Mr. Sandy, know that constitute news because it's strange.
Of course.
It's the first time for us to see somebody who was a custodian of government information to sit on the radio and say those things. You remember the days of the Grady Addison Ray at the University of Liberia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Reverend Weah had to go to Samuel Dodo, asking and say, the video we are looking at is damaging.
Hmm.
How do we manage this thing? We never came back to say anything in the public until they had to do further investigation. But for Van Gogh to come out to tell us this, it's a clear indication that he knows something. He's in the know. He saw some document. He saw the report. Partly he knows the perpetrators. But Mr. Shelton, few Liberians want to do damage control for Van Gogh and the government by saying, oh, no, he never said anything bad. What he's saying is this, is the fact. But the other group are saying he's not in the know. I said, no, hold on, you people I don't think you guys follow and take note. Van Gogh was in the very same government when he said that people want to kill George Weah like Patrick Minicom.
Mm-hmm.
And I came on and did a podcast and said, Van Gogh, I challenge you to give us detail of the Patrick Minicom story. Because the things you're talking, if you're talking about the Patrick Minicom story, our big boys out here were allegedly linked to Minicom's death. So who are you referring to? Are you referring to our international partners or are you referring to opposition? He never answered that question. At that time, he was Deputy Information Minister for Public Affairs. But he's talking about Gifty Lama, Yeswa, and Famboto, and all these people.
Yeah.
Gifty Lama and Abbott and Peter's death. The president said in his church, the Fakikron church.
Mm-hmm.
The best preacher of our time was in his church.
Our boyfriend and girlfriend.
That boyfriend and girlfriend issue. He killed the story immediately. Van Gogh and others ran with different narrative. But when they come back to tell us. So you see, the guys said the center can't hold any longer. They don't have what it takes to go back for the next term. In lobby with Prince Johnson, I can't even trust that other Prince Johnson man because the man he's not even stable.
No, the man, it's a ploy, Gerald. The man wants to renew the contract. He said it in a subtle way. He said, if I signed contract with the man the first time, the man deliver. So I'm forced to sign contract. So he put in the candidate so that we can feel kind of, soft. That's what the man said. The high power delegation, the financial gurus of we are government, were the ones who went to see him.
Oh, yeah.
The people who running the checkbook, the people who have access to the central bank's coffer.
They went to see him.
That's what's happening.
But Volcano, you remember it was the same Reverend Johnson or Bishop Johnson who said that we cannot elect President Weah or else we'll go to war.
Yeah, he
2005. Did. Let's go back a little bit. 2005, when I was in the country, during the hell days of the election, he collected money from the same CDC.
Yeah.
They were having some grumble. He sat down in Nimba and told them, if when you pick up your money, you come for it.
Yeah.
The further part, he told the Limbarian that if you don't elect me, this George Weah boy, he's being supported heavily by Model and some other love people.
Yeah.
They will come for us again. That was his propaganda he was running. So that old man is like he who pays the piper play the tune.
Definitely. He uses the people of Nimba, for his own.
But it is incumbent upon the Liberian people now to make the best decision for themselves. We are at a crossroad.
Definitely.
The change we're all yearning for, the change is here.
And
whether the media institutions will play a pivotal role in this other election, senior brother, I don't see it all.
But you don't have the media. You don't have the media. The media right now is polarized with all kinds of people in the media, masquerading to be journalists. Everyone holds a cell phone on a tripod and call themselves a TV. Volcano's TV, Moses TV, Gerald's TV, and they're all scrambling for press conferences, and they go there. Care to tell me whether you know what happened yesterday? is that the media for real?
I
That
mean, right now, all
you
it takes is a
even
good
even
cell
even
phone.
even even the good people who are supposed to be good people are consumed by this nonsense, and they themselves now have to play to the order of the day just to be able to survive and sustain. Gerald, look at our good friend and brother. What a young man named Kwame Opa Weeks. You're
Yeah.
a director general for Lena.
Yeah, for Lena.
You hold a tape recorder or not a tape
On
recorder,
camera,
a camera
a cell phone,
or a
yeah.
cell phone, and you
Mhm.
now become a panorama man.
No, but
That's his own
go back
job.
to the press conference with the catch of arms.
Yeah.
Listen to his intro. Just
Yes,
listen to his intro. The guy was the guy was doing complete PR work. I like, you gotta describe what kind of attire they in. You man, ask the question.
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you, because people who supposed to do what is right, they're being consumed by the order of the day, and so they're just scooping into what is happening. You understand me? It's the majority rule.
yeah.
That's what you have in Liberia. A bad press that today the Minister of Information is now put in a straight jacket and told
Yeah.
that you got to resign. We're not letting you go,
Yeah,
but you got to
you gotta,
resign.
yeah, you gotta
It's
go.
compulsory that you resign
Mhm.
and take a professional of his pedigree to replace him. That's what you get. That's what you get, my brother. So we are in a serious situation. So the media has no impact on the elections coming up. What we say that has impact on the elections coming up is George Weah should know that he's not in the position, he's not caught for the presidency. He's not caught to continue for another 6 years. He has not demonstrated that he's capable. He has not demonstrated that he's ready. He has not proven that he learned on the job like Samuel Doe, irrespective of all that happened. He has not shown anything. He all about pleasure. He's all about chilling, sitting back, and let these young boys dictate what happens in the country, and they're all bowing to him. Prezo, you're the best president. And if we put this back for 6 years, my brother, and I'm not going to say here to sound that I am well off. No, I love to be in Liberia. I love to contribute to my country's growth, but I don't have to. I don't. I'm in the greatest country in the world. I have done everything by the books to remain a peaceful citizen, a peaceful contributor to the American economy. When I get up and go to work by His grace, I get paid every 2 weeks to sustain me and my family. There's no begging. I don't have to scoop to anybody. If the job is not treating me well, I look for another job and I will find another job based on my competence. But the reason we come here and sacrifice this time, because a lot of people don't have this opportunity in Liberia, Gerald.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't talk for themselves. A lot of people want to talk, but they're too scared. Even the low $100 they're paying them in the ministry, they see bad things going on, but they're scared because how will they take care of their livelihood?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you and I can make that choice. And that is
Yeah,
why
but
we're here.
even though, Mr. Shelton, wise, it's true that you're in the greatest country of all time, but let's face the reality though. Even I know you are a student of the Bible as well. Mordecai said to Esther, whatever thing affects you, affect us too.
But
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm just telling you that it affects me. That's why I'm sitting here tonight to have this conversation. That's my contribution to enlighten. That's what the issues room is about, to enlighten, to throw light on the things that the blind people are not seeing. And I'm being figurative here. The things that people, sometimes it takes so much to wake a person up. I spoke with a lady who said, I'm not going to vote. I'm not wasting my time. And I said, you need to vote. Who do you want? So I don't even want to vote because I want Weah. We made a big mistake. I said, but then you got your vote would make a difference. So that's what we're here talking. So no, I feel the problems in Liberia. I have investments in Liberia. I have family in Liberia. I have everybody closest to me in Liberia. But the decision to be made by the Liberian people in majority, they are the ones who are going to suffer it. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
You tell your child, say, listen, that's candle over there. You put your hand to that fire, bring it. They look at the candle and say, no, they're not fire. They put their hand in and cry.
So yeah, it's
So
okay.
they cry, slap you on top of the crying so you can know I told you. And that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you said go ahead and do what
Yeah,
you gotta do.
yeah.
Yeah.
To put this man back, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. I've had a I had some very pertinent conversations, and it sounds like there's a possibility because of what we're talking here tonight. Majority of the people don't see anything wrong with what's happening to them. Majority of the people, Gerald.
That's why sometimes I look for a long time. I say to myself, are these people on a spell or something? Because nobody will wake up in the morning and go to a party headquarters when your salary cannot commensurate your work, when Papa can't come home on time.
But you go to the
When a
party
cup of
headquarters, you're not
rice,
sharing sandwiches with you. Yesterday, the whole day
Mhm.
under the sun, your saliva dry on your mouth.
Yeah.
You're looking for a plastic bag of water just to what do you call it, hydrate.
when Papa can't come home on time, when look, anything you touch on Facebook, I'll tell you one joke, right? So I called this old friend of mine. She said, "Oh, Mr. Cummings, how you doing? We're talking." She said, "Oh, please talk to them, my sister. Maybe she got some issue." So we're talking. The guy said, "Let me call you back. Let me call you back." I said, "Okay." She called me back. She told me, she said, "Oh, that my landlord." He said, "If I pay my rent, then
Yeah.
you put my stuff outside." So I said to him, I said, "Let me call you back quickly." So I called her back. She said, "Who's that?" I said, "Oh, I report it coming to my car." He said, "If I pay the money today, you're gonna I said this to say that anybody you touch,
Yeah.
what are you trying to be nice to them? People have tend to beg us. But when you're telling them
Mhm.
that in order for your life to be better also that you can't beg or be a beggar, tell this guy goodbye.
That's it.
Tell your friends to turn out to vote President Weah OUT.
Oh, there you go. That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
Or else you people will keep begging. And we have family, we have children, we have relatives there. We have to help them. We can't help everybody.
it's not possible.
Well, one man sitting down, he already got 500 million. He's trying to get the other 500 million. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But my man, thank you so much for showing up, man. Good to
Yes,
have you
sir.
here tonight. We're about to leave, and I thanks for your input. It was good that you called. We have to keep talking. Moses, we have to keep talking. There's nothing we can do about it. I hear people say, "Oh, that all you can do talk, talk, talk." The one that I can say that we talking, we ask them to come talk with us. Give me your opposite view. Let me speak
Yeah.
in Liberian English now. You come to me with your opposite view.
Observe you. He said
Then you
no.
say we talking. Come with your opposite view. Can't challenge us to say what we're talking is
Yeah, that's
stupid
true. Yeah.
or that lie, and then make your case so the Liberian people can follow you. But don't sit behind the scene and say all we can do is talk. We're talking because we 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 we
We
we
love
we
what we do.
fighting it.
Yeah. We're educating.
We're bringing things to the forefront. These kinds of conversations are necessary. Necessary.
Absolutely.
So for those
Absolutely.
of you who just joining us, let's do a quick recap. Tonight we discussed, we drew a line here with the New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, who in January of in this month actually resigned her position with intent to continue as Prime Minister, and her official end time will be in the coming weeks in February. There is a new name to the position. Um, Jacinda had served New Zealand from 2017, and she got to a point where she said, "Enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. This is a privileged role that comes with a lot of responsibilities, and you have to be cut for the job. You have to want to do it. You have to put in man hours. You have to continue to be engaging. You have to speak to your people. You have to travel. You have to do all of these things, and I don't have it. I'm 42 years old. I feel like I'm already 80 years old.
Yeah. I'm
Then on the other
overburdened.
side,
Yeah.
we got one Japa in Liberia. He say he president. He 56-year-old. His stomach big now. He not working out. He only wait for counting meat to go play to be valuable player. Um, he ain't got nothing to offer the country. He can't even talk to the citizens. He only use his church pulpit to throw jabs. He doesn't have the competencies, no leadership fortitude, no leadership qualities. He cannot discern. Moses always say he reads at a third grade level. He's clueless. He began running the country, the running crowd about government. All he want, you bring my grip, you bring my money, you bring my this. And he's now begging to be president again for another 6 years. My people, you're the verdict. If you think that Weah can be president for another 6 years, the first 5.5 years he's already $500 million worth it. He's pushing to get another $500 million because he wants to be Liberia's first billionaire. He likes to be first in everything. So y'all can go ahead, give him the country, and y'all will feel it. But that was the conversation here tonight. Weah is not cut to be the president of Liberia for another 6 years. He has not shown it. He has not demonstrated that he has the capabilities. He has the understanding of global understanding of leadership. He did not demonstrate anything. The few speeches he made at the United Nations, they were child's play. It did not reap any formidable result, nothing fruitful for our country. The economy is drained. The economy is sunk in quicksand. Even the people who are around him are chattering in small clusters, including his very own Prince Johnson, who is a kingmaker. All of these people have said these things, and yet he still wants to be president. They're appealing to the Liberian people. They're appealing to the young population, that population that he neglected for 5.5 years. He put only $30,000 in the budget for mental health when we just had a show said 300,000+ young Liberians need serious rehabilitation, healthcare, rehabilitation from drug usage, to get him back on the full swing of
Job
life.
creation.
Yeah, he hasn't done it. But as that same group, they're going to run the streets, they're going to be cheering, they're going to be Zigwe, they're going to be Jose. And whatever they say is left to them. At the end of the day, we'll continue this conversation. Moses, let me let you take your 1 or 2 minutes and let's wrap up.
Yeah, I would like to wrap it by saying that over the years, Mr. Weah has demonstrated to Liberians and the world that he's indeed an anomaly, a mistake in the history of the Liberian presidency. George Weah represents what we call the epitome of the tyranny of democracy. The people, that's the saddest thing about it. Majority of our people got together, acted on the impulse, and they gave us somebody who is clueless, who does not understand what he does, who is not prepared to learn, who has what we call adult ADHD, meaning that this guy is feisty. He cannot sit still. He cannot concentrate. He lacks the ability to focus and get things done. That's why we in the issues room would like to tell our people tonight, please, Liberians, do not repeat this mistake. You want 12 years of stagnation? Volcano, 12 years of stagnation? This cannot happen. This is not about hatred. It is about the good of Liberia, the stability of Liberia, the progress of Liberia. Liberia cannot afford to be known globally as a country of thieves headed by Mr. Weah. And that's how I would like to wrap it.
Thank you so much, Moses. Thank you. Let me let you go. Gentlemen, ladies, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Maple Hall, Judah Fire, it was good that you showed up. We'd like to thank you for coming through. Thomas Awaji, Gerald Cummings, everyone who showed up. We called the names earlier. Again, we'll be back here next Tuesday. This Friday, we will not have a broadcast because the issues room will be at the funeral of Dr. Daniel E. Cassell. Will be there as a Liberian, and it could be for any Liberian. He was a notable man in our community, irrespective of what the pundits and media practitioners say. He passed on, and his funeral will be this Friday. Um, as well as the wake keeping will be this Friday, as well as the funeral on Saturday. So we are going to be, uh, you know, sharing our time as a Liberian community with other Liberians across the country who will be here. Then the following Friday, we will also not broadcast because we'll be in Texas uh, with the family of the late Patrick Manger, my former boss and colleague, who passed on January 13 and will be buried next weekend. That's February 3rd and the 4th. So the issues room will not have a broadcast on the next 2 Fridays. However, we'll be here next Tuesday. So we just wanted to lay that out there. It's saddening that we have to, but it's part of what we do as a community. We need to give our flowers. We need to give our time when these kinds of things happen, because death is for everyone. It could be me tomorrow. It could be Moses. It could be you. And if the need arises, will come. And I'm sure you will come to what our situation will be. So we say thank you so much. Again, Friday we won't be broadcasting. We'll be at a funeral. Thank you so much. Again, we'll hope that you join us Tuesday for the next presentation, which will be our 125th edition. I'm Volcano Shelton. You all have a good night, and we'll be here next Tuesday. Thank you.